Sometimes you get crummy loading docks, and then sometimes you get awesome open loading docks that are easy to back into like this one. Yeah, so today is Thanksgiving. Well, technically, right now, it's 2:16 in the morning after Thanksgiving. And technically where I am at now, it's 3:16 in the morning. So anyway, what ended up happening was this week I went to Northern California and came back, and then afterwards they didn't have anything for me, and they told a lot of the drivers go home. I think we had the option to continue driving or go home, but you're not going to make money going home. So some people got the option to stay home the whole week from after Wednesday, and other people got Thursday off. Well, anyway, for me, they gave me a load to Utah being delivered on Friday in the morning. So what I ended up doing was after I came back from Northern California on Wednesday afternoon or evening, I went home, had dinner, and then relaxed a little bit. And then the next day, which was Thanksgiving, I went ahead and there was 2 Thanksgiving meals. One was on Thanksgiving Day during lunchtime, and another one was on Friday night. I had a quick lunch, and I cut out early on Thanksgiving Day, hopped in the truck, and headed towards Utah. So now I am in a place called Nephi, Nephi, Nephi. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. But anyway, I'm here, and yeah, it went down. It went like coming here, it went down to 17 degrees. I think right now it's at 22 degrees or something like that. It's icy in places, but because there wasn't any snow or rain today, there wasn't any, like, I guess, slippery road conditions. So I made it here okay, and hopefully while I'm heading back, it's going to be pretty safe. But last week I was saying in the video, I hope they don't send me to Utah because I'm worried about the weather and the cold. And guess I don't make this stuff up, Last week I say that, and then what happens? I get sent to Utah. Go figure, right? Well, anyway, I appreciate this run because it's a nice long run, and it after I'm done, it's about a little bit over 1,300 miles round trip. Just going to Utah and back, so it's not bad. And with that run up to Northern Cal, it's a decent week for a holiday week, especially a Thanksgiving week. So can't complain. And I also got to spend time with the family. It was kind of short, but still, I got to see all my family and everything. So yeah, that's what's going on so far. Yeah, it's 29 degrees Fahrenheit, freezing weather, right? I am in Utah, and it's in the wee hours of the morning. I gotta get to bed so I can make this delivery tomorrow. So I'm here at a rest stop in Nephi. I kept pronouncing it Nephi, but it's Nephi. And you could see that there's that's snow in the mountains right here. And then the crazy thing here is, I don't know if you can see this, but the unleaded here is 285 and the diesel is 370, 365. And more snow in the mountains there. It was pretty cold. It was pretty cold weather here. And this is Black Friday now, so you can see that the truck stop is pretty empty, There's hardly any trucks. Usually you get a bunch of trucks here. If you see, Utah is really nice. Scenic, wide open, really incredible mountains, but it's butt cold. I can't get used to this cold. My hands are freezing holding this camera. That's right. You know what time it is. It's time for Business Bites. Business Bites. So this week for Business Bites, I wanted to talk about ideas that pertain to serving truck drivers and also a lot of travelers in general. If you notice that certain areas get really packed with a lot of truck drivers, and I think if you're doing stuff like retail or selling things, especially the restaurant portion, almost every single truck stop that I go to, I usually go to a TA, or most of the time I go to Flying J or Pilot because our company wants us to fuel in those areas. But when I go to truck stops to shut down for the night, generally the types of food that you could eat are very, very limited. And I was thinking that if you could rent space and do something different, like people like different types of food, but we're pretty much limited to like a Black Bear Diner, a Denny's, or a Taco Bell, or Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, because they usually go together. Most of the time, a Wendy's, and every once in a while you'll see a Carl's Jr. or McDonald's or something like that. But I was thinking if you do something a little bit different, I know there's a lot of Indian truck drivers, so every once in a while you do see the Indian restaurants. But if you did like some Asian food, like pho, or like different types of food, and this one place in Beaver, Utah, at the I think it was a Flying J or the Pilot, they have a Mexican restaurant. The food is decent. It's not like out of this world great, but that place is always busy. And if you wanted a business idea, that's a really good business idea to incorporate some different types of restaurants into either directly at the truck stop where you talk to the people running the truck stop if they have extra space and you could actually run a restaurant there, or right next to it you set up a food truck or whatever. And I know in Bakersfield, when I go to the Pilot over there, there's two Mexican food trucks, and they do well there. And so, there's a lot of opportunities. I mean, especially when it comes to like stuff you could provide for people. And this is the thing, is that it's not only truckers that are going to show up. There's going to be a lot of, different people driving through there, and they'll make the stop. And if you're famous for your food or whatever service or whatever stuff you're selling, they'll stop by. And so, just an idea I'm throwing out there, because I know that when I drive around and when I go to some of these truck stops, I'm sitting there thinking that this would be the perfect place for somebody to open up a different type of restaurant, whether it's Asian food, Mexican food, maybe even South American food, even like, different types of European food. It can do very well, but we're pretty much limited to the basics, like, burgers, sandwiches, pizzas. And I think if you can set something up in a high traffic area and set something up a little bit different, you'll kill it, and it'll be out of the norm. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there for this week's Business Bites. Business Bites. Calling all old timers. Remember these things? 8 minutes for $1. I still remember when it was 20 cents. So seriously, this week started off pretty wild. We had some really interesting looking scenery as we drove, and a lot of times I try to avoid the traffic, and I'll sometimes loop around the Lancaster side instead of going straight through like Pasadena and Santa Clarita, the Magic Mountain area way, right? I instead of going straight on the 5, I'll loop around the 15 to the 138 and come back around. And this time I did that, and the types of weather that I encountered were pretty amazing. First it was like incredible clouds, and then it turned into full-on storm weather. And so I was in the thick of a crazy storm. And then afterwards, pretty much settled to a overcast, cloudy day, night. And then the next day came back, and they sent me to Utah. And my trip to Utah this time was crazy because the temperatures were cold. And they had their first snowfall a little while back, and so I got to see pretty cool sights with some snow in the mountains. Certain areas, as you got deeper into Salt Lake, had a lot more snow, but here and there you see snow. And then we go ahead, and we're traveling through I-15 going southbound from Utah, and we go through a lot of open expanse. It's just like really nice. First of all, you go through some of the canyons when you go through Arizona. So you go from Utah to Arizona. You got a small tip of that northern west part of Arizona, and then you go down to Nevada, and then you've got that Nevada desert that stretches a long way, and then you approach Las Vegas. And Las Vegas, you have all the casinos and resorts and buildings and everything over there, and you drive through. And it's a very interesting ride. It's a very fun ride, and you see a lot of things. And believe it or not, even though the ride is like 670 miles or so, it goes by. It feels like it goes by pretty quick. So anyway, but there are a lot of ups and downs, ups and downs. So in terms of fuel economy, it's not. It does a number on your fuel economy. So yeah, it's challenging. But that's some sights from my drive this week. What's going on, my people? This week was pretty interesting because it was Thanksgiving week, and they told us it was pretty much optional to continue driving. I didn't want to lose the momentum of making a certain amount of money, so I opted to drive. So it kind of worked out. And I went to Northern Cal, came back, and then shut down on Wednesday afternoon. got home, got to relax a little bit, spend time with the family because everybody's around. And then Thursday for lunch, we had a Thanksgiving lunch, and then I cut out early and headed on my next assignment, which was going to Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah. So it all worked out. I got about 2,000 miles in. I got to spend time with the family as well for Thanksgiving, and everything was pretty good. It was a pretty good week. Can't complain. About 2,000, a little over 2,000 miles, I believe. For a shortened week like that, because I still had about 12 hours left on my clock when I shut down, it wasn't bad at all. One of the things I wanted to talk about is how we handle difficulties. I talk about this a lot, but the reason why I also talk about it is because I reflect a lot on it, because there's a lot of stuff as a driver that get under your skin. And there was something I heard early on in my life about you've got two fruits. You've got an orange and a lemon, and from the outside they're both beautiful looking fruits. If you don't know if you didn't know what both of them were, you would think they're both probably equal, but just different color. But when you actually taste the juice inside, so one is sweet and one is bitter inside. And you don't know until you squeeze that juice out. And the thing is what happens, what's inside of us? What happens when we get squeezed? What's inside? Is it sweet or is it sour or is it bitter? And a lot of times when we're under pressure and, a lot of unfavorable things happen to us, we'll see how we react to them. We could either take a step back and have a bigger capacity and be the bigger person, or we could lash out, fight or flight, and we get in that mode where we react. And I think it's important to try not to be somebody you're not, but then there are things that we do where we can do that we don't like to do, and that comes with discipline, and that comes with almost going against our nature. So what I'm saying is that when we flow, there's energy that comes out that's natural for us. We like doing certain things and we just let it out and we do it, but there are times when we do things that we're not comfortable doing, but we still do it anyway. But then there are times when we do things and we're not comfortable with it and we're very angry about it. And there's also times when we should be doing things and we don't do it because we don't want to do it, because that's not us. We can do it, but we don't want to do it. And I think people kind of think about putting a square peg into a round hole, forcing some issues in our lives and trying to force things to happen in our lives. But at the end of the day, there are things that we could do, that we can do, and it's not that drastic. But in our minds, we have these barriers, and a lot of discipline, a lot of maturity will break down those barriers. And there are things that we do because we want to do out of love, out of passion, out of what we believe is right, and that shows character in a person. That also shows that we're living life proactively. So I'm not trying to tell you to be somebody that you're not, but I think all of us, we should challenge ourselves to be able to do the things that are difficult from time to time. If you're doing that all the time, if you're doing difficult things that go against your nature, against the grain all the time, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna not be living life with the talents and gifts that you have. You're going to be trying to imitate somebody else. And that's not good either, because that's not healthy. You have to be you, yes, but you also have to have the capacity to do other things and not eliminate. Because I see a lot of drivers and I talk to them and their capacity is limited. Is it because they don't have the capacity? No, it's because they're not going to take anybody's crap. I'm not doing that. They're not going to make me do that. There's no way I'm going to drive there. No, I'm not going to, and it's like, it's more attitude than actually can they do it, and would it be beneficial for them and whoever, the company or the people that they're delivering to or picking up from, is it beneficial for them? And these are questions that I think we all have to ask, like, can we do it or can't we do it? So sometimes it'll feel like laziness, or people will say laziness, but you should not be doing something you're not wired to do for a prolonged period of time, day in and day out, day in and day out. Then you're in the wrong place. You're doing the wrong things. But if every once in a while you're asked to do this or that, you got to do it. Do people love taking out the trash at their house? No. But, if you don't take out the trash, what happens? It stinks and you have trash that's just piling up in your house, right? You get disciplined to take out that trash every week. So I want to challenge you guys this week, have a bigger capacity. Don't let little things wig you out, and be able to put some discipline in your life and maturity, and be the bigger person, and be able to step back from situations and really assess it. And don't volunteer to do things you can't do either, just because, you want to be the bigger person or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. If you can do it, realistically assess the situation and make a decision. Oh, I'll help out, or no, this is not wise for me to do it at this point. But a lot of times we're attitude driven and we'll say, no, screw that, I'm not going to do that. And it doesn't help you, it doesn't help the company, it doesn't help anybody. So anyway, that is my take for this week. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for following me on my journey. God bless you all. And I hope you guys stay safe out there. I had some crazy cold weather in Utah, and it's, winter's kicking in. And there was like that first layer of snow and whatnot. So, be safe out there. Peace. Until next time. Cheers.